my country people, Nigeria's unofficial security intelligence chief, Sheikh Gumi, don't grant interview. He talk say for the interview that this one where they talk say him they go meet terrorists, they negotiate with them. Not be only him they go there. In fact, he say those terrorists, the government of Nigeria know them by name, by location, and every other thing. In fact, make una hear our security intelligence unofficial chief Sheikh Gumi.
Believe that since you have this the knowledge about all this, is it that the government does not have the power or the equipment to know where these terrorists are to tackle insecurity?
The government knows every terrorist by name and by location. I don't go yellow. I don't go to the terrorists alone. I call the police, I call the security, everybody. I will go to the MES or that place. In fact, when we went to one terrorist, I went with, even with women with me. Go to the bush. The thing is, you didn't see it before the camera was not concentrated on it. I know.
Master Strategist President, Commander-in-Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Master Strategist, sir. Oga Sheikh Gumi say government una know the names and location of every terrorist. So our dear master strategy waiting they stop government from taking out the terrorists. There is no master strategy on ending terrorism and insecurity. Ori buruku lenshe Nigerian government. Oshi lenshe. You see this country Nigeria, so my country people, the truth about insecurity and terrorism in this country will only be known when the victims, all of us, the victims of this kind of inhumanity and evil, when we become sick and tired of being sick and tired and say enough, we must put value to human life. Until then, this multilateral economic enterprise we call terrorism and insecurity in Nigeria, this insecurity office where they don't open for our heads, so it will continue. Because that is the only reason why person go sit down boldly and make a statement and say that the government know everywhere where the terrorists they know them by name, but somehow the thing cannot end. Yes, now, because unless you end the political wing of terrorism, you cannot end the one where they for Bush. Nigerians, make we shine our eye. When will we be tired? Because unfortunately, Nigerians are even cooperating with the oppressors and people where they torment your lives. That is why you go see people, even from that same note, you go see people where go come out, they protest for Iran when you never feel protest to protect your own life. You go see videos more than how many soldiers slaughtered like animals and chicken. Not even a word from the president. They go kill soldiers. President feed the APC Congress. If it did, they do Ramadan breakfast. How many days ago, how many soldiers they kill for Middle East with this US and Iran war? US President Donald Trump with his wife, plus Vice President, plus Secretary to War, all of them move their schedule. They go Dover Airport to do what? Receive the bodies that they call them dignified transfer. In Nigeria 2026, if soldier die, he's still unknown soldier. You go see video where they say that they give soldier treatment, that they put them drip, they sit down, they lie down for floor. What a tragedy of a country. Ori buruku lenshe. Look at this video of women where they run, where they waka so as they go so. Not be convention that they go, not be crusade that they go. No, not be rally. Now people where they run out of their communities as bandits and terrorists don't ransack the whole place. As they go the place where they go for IDP camp. So nobody say they go there safe. Last week they even attack IDP camp, kidnap more than 100 people from IDP camp in a country where they budget money to rehabilitate terrorists. Somebody they wake up, grant interview, talk say these terrorists are known to the government. Nigerians, it is up to all of us. Make we continue to they make excuses, they pamper. Nnamdi Kanu ide prison. Sunday Goho is standing on the mandate which he shall collapse. Now Yoruba nation don't end. And then Sheikh Gumi is granting interview. Nigeria, a country of truly particular concern. Because even we the people, we don't become people of particular concern. To be permitting this level of recklessness and insanity we call government in this country. Every day people they die. Every day people that they kill, that they kidnap. Terrorists go collect ransom, he go pose with and snap. He go say, they say the boy don't die, he never die. Oh yeah, call your people, take phone, tell them, say you still there alive. For country we get commander-in-chief. Ori Buruku PLC. Ori Buruku Nigerian PLC. Master strategy commander-in-chief. Sheikh Gumi don't talk. He said government, they know the name and the place. So what is stopping government from taking out terrorism? Nigerians, only Nigerians can save ourselves. No Messiah, they come from anywhere. My name is Peter for Nigeria. Ori Buruku Leshe Nigerian government. Oshini.
When discussions about national security arise in Nigeria, emotions often run high. The stakes are enormous because the subject touches the most fundamental responsibility of any state, protecting the lives and dignity of its citizens. In recent years, Nigerians across different regions have raised serious concerns about the persistence of violence, banditry, and extremist attacks. Communities have been displaced, families have been separated, and entire regions have struggled with the psychological weight of insecurity. Against this backdrop, statements from public figures, analysts, and commentators often ignite intense public debate. One such statement that has sparked widespread discussion is the claim that the Nigerian government knows the names and locations of terrorists operating within the country. This assertion, repeated by commentator Randy Peter Akah while referencing remarks attributed to Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, has triggered questions that many Nigerians quietly ask: if such knowledge exists, what prevents decisive action? Is the challenge truly a lack of information, or are there deeper structural complexities that shape the fight against insecurity? Before we go further into this analysis, if you appreciate thoughtful discussions that explore complex issues without sensationalism, consider subscribing to the channel and joining the conversation in the comments. These discussions become richer when diverse perspectives are shared respectfully. And of course, sharing this video helps more people engage with serious conversations about governance, accountability, and public policy. To understand the weight of the claim that authorities know the identities and locations of terrorists, it is important to examine the broader context in which such statements are made. Nigeria is a country with immense geographic size, ethnic diversity, and political complexity. Security challenges do not occur in a vacuum. They emerge from overlapping factors such as economic disparities, environmental pressures, historical grievances, regional politics, and transnational criminal networks. When commentators speak about terrorism or armed groups, they often refer to a range of actors whose motivations and organizational structures may differ significantly. Some groups operate with ideological motivations, others with economic incentives such as ransom kidnapping, illegal mining, or cattle rustling. This complexity means that the label terrorist sometimes becomes a broad term that encompasses multiple categories of armed actors. In intelligence and security studies, the idea that authorities may know the identities of certain actors is not unusual. Security agencies around the world maintain databases, intelligence reports, surveillance records, and informant networks that track individuals suspected of involvement in violent activities. Knowing a name or a suspected location, however, is only one element in a very complicated operational process. Acting on intelligence requires verification, coordination, legal authorization, operational logistics, and often careful timing to avoid unintended consequences such as civilian casualties or escalation of violence. This is why counter-terrorism operations in many countries can appear slow or incomplete even when intelligence agencies possess partial information. However, the frustration expressed by many Nigerians stems from the perception that insecurity continues despite years of government assurances. Citizens hear statements suggesting that authorities understand the threat landscape, yet communities continue to experience attacks, kidnappings, and displacement. This gap between official assurances and lived reality often fuels skepticism. It also fuels the type of commentary heard in the statement attributed to Randy Peter Akah, where the speaker questions why decisive action has not eliminated these threats if the information truly exists. Another dimension of the conversation involves Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, an Islamic cleric who has been a controversial figure in Nigeria's security debate. Over the years, Gumi has reportedly engaged in dialogue with armed groups in certain regions, presenting himself as a mediator seeking peaceful solutions. Supporters argue that dialogue can sometimes reduce violence by creating communication channels with actors who operate outside formal structures. Critics, on the other hand, worry that such engagement may inadvertently legitimize armed groups or create the perception that violence can become a bargaining tool. The tension between negotiation and enforcement is not unique to Nigeria. Around the world, governments facing insurgencies often debate whether to prioritize military operations, political dialogue, economic reforms, or a combination of all three. For instance, some countries have used peace negotiations to integrate armed groups into political systems, while others have relied primarily on military force to dismantle militant networks. Each approach carries risks and potential benefits, and success often depends on local conditions. What makes the Nigerian case particularly sensitive is the human cost of insecurity. When communities witness repeated attacks or kidnappings, patience becomes extremely difficult. The emotional toll on families who lose loved ones or live under constant fear cannot be measured simply through policy discussions. In such situations, public commentary often becomes more direct, more emotional, and sometimes more accusatory toward authorities. In the statement under analysis, the speaker argues that the persistence of insecurity suggests a deeper structural problem. The idea presented is that terrorism has evolved into what he describes as a multilateral economic enterprise. While this phrase is provocative, it reflects a broader concern that insecurity may generate financial incentives for certain actors within complex conflict economies. Conflict economies can involve ransom payments, illegal trade, arms trafficking, and other activities that benefit from instability. Scholars of conflict studies often examine how prolonged violence can create networks of profit that make resolution more complicated. However, it is important to approach such claims carefully. Suggesting that governments deliberately allow insecurity for economic reasons is a serious allegation that requires substantial evidence. Responsible analysis must distinguish between verified facts, informed speculation, and emotional rhetoric. At the same time, public skepticism toward institutions often grows when transparency is limited. Citizens who feel excluded from decision-making processes may fill information gaps with speculation or distrust. One recurring theme in the commentary is the perception that Nigerian citizens must take greater responsibility in demanding accountability from leadership. The speaker argues that real change may only occur when citizens collectively refuse to normalize insecurity. This perspective echoes a common idea in democratic theory, that governments are ultimately accountable to the people they serve. When citizens actively participate in civic discussions, elections, public advocacy, and community engagement, they help shape national priorities. Yet civic engagement also requires trust in institutions. If citizens believe their voices have little impact, participation can decline. Rebuilding that trust often requires consistent transparency from leadership, effective communication during crisis, and visible progress in addressing national challenges. Another point raised in the statement concerns the treatment and recognition of soldiers who serve on the front lines. In many countries, military personnel who lose their lives in service receive formal ceremonies that publicly honor their sacrifice. Such gestures carry symbolic importance because they demonstrate national gratitude and reinforce morale among those who continue serving. When citizens perceive that fallen soldiers are not adequately recognized, it can create a sense of national disconnection from the realities faced by military personnel. The comparison made in the commentary between international military practices and Nigerian responses reflects a broader debate about how societies value their armed forces. While comparisons can sometimes oversimplify complex administrative systems, they highlight the emotional expectation that soldiers should receive visible respect and support from both government and society. As we continue exploring this issue, it is worth remembering that security challenges rarely have simple explanations. Nigeria's situation involves regional dynamics, porous borders, internal migration, climate pressures affecting farming and herding communities, and the influence of transnational extremist networks. Each of these factors interacts with governance, economic opportunity, and social cohesion. For viewers who are following this analysis closely, this is also a good moment to pause briefly and ask for your perspective. Do you think the major challenge in addressing insecurity is primarily intelligence, political will, economic inequality, or institutional capacity? Share your thoughts in the comments. Conversations like this become more meaningful when people from different backgrounds contribute their insights. Returning to the central claim that authorities know the identities and locations of terrorists, it is possible that the truth lies somewhere between absolute knowledge and complete uncertainty. Intelligence systems often operate with probabilities rather than certainties. A suspected location may change rapidly. Individuals involved in armed networks may move frequently across remote terrain. Informants may provide incomplete or outdated information. All of these factors complicate operational planning. Furthermore, military action alone does not always eliminate insurgent networks. Even when leaders are captured or neutralized, underlying conditions that allow recruitment may persist. This is why many security experts emphasize a whole-of-government approach that includes economic development, community reconciliation, educational opportunities, and regional cooperation alongside security operations. Nigeria's ongoing debate about insecurity reflects a society searching for effective solutions while coping with the emotional weight of repeated tragedies. Public commentary, including statements like the one analyzed here, serves as an outlet for frustration but also as a call for deeper reflection about national priorities. Citizens want reassurance that their lives are valued and that the institutions designed to protect them are capable of fulfilling that responsibility. And again, if you find this kind of balanced and thoughtful analysis valuable, take a moment to subscribe, share the video with others who care about informed discussions, and leave a comment describing how you think Nigeria, and countries facing similar challenges, can strengthen both security and democratic accountability. The conversation does not end here. In the next part of this analysis, we will examine the broader political and social implications of statements like this, including the role of public trust, the impact of media narratives, and the long-term strategies that nations often adopt when confronting persistent security threats.